Hi, I'm LeeSun Truth Teller and modern day minstrel, and I'm here to remind you that there's no truth outside of love. If it ain't loving, it ain't true. Today is day number 3 of this vlog. I'm really enjoying doing this and thinking about what I can talk about from day to day. And today's topic is how to be a better parent, if you haven't noticed it in the title already. Well, the funny thing about being a better parent is that actually the question isn't really about being a better parent. The question is about being a better human being. If you're a better human being, you'll be a better parent. So how does one become a better human being, or how can you be a better human being? I would say that probably it comes down to kindness. The kinder you are, the better a human being you are. And I'm talking about being kind to yourself as well as kind to other people. If you're being really kind to other people and really unkind to yourself, well, that counts. That's not being kind. In the context of parenting, what are you modeling if you show your child that the way to be is to subjugate all your own needs to those of everyone else's? If you're showing them actually the way to live is to be really hard on yourself or really unkind to yourself, what are you showing your parent? Do you want your child to learn this, become a grown-up who is really unkind to themselves? That's pretty harsh. If you're really hard on yourself, that's probably way more harsh than anyone else being unkind to you, because you're with yourself all the time. So you have the most potential for impact, and not just the most potential, but the most actual impact is the impact that you're having on yourself. So yeah, think about it. I was thinking, I saw this interview of Brene Brown online, and she said that Brene Brown, the vulnerability expert who has done a couple of TED Talks and wrote, I think it's called The Power of Vulnerability. It might not be called that. And she's also written a book called Daring Greatly, which a good friend of mine gave to me for my birthday. She might have just given it to me for no good reason, just because she's really lovely and kind and generous like that. But anyway, she gave me this book, and I've read a couple of chapters of it. It's really good. The first couple of chapters are really good. I fully intend to read all of it at some point. Anyway, this interview. Brene says she has this sign on her wall for her kids, and the sign says, "We can do hard things." It might say we can do hard or we can do difficult things. We can do hard things. That's the idea. The idea is, don't let that put you off just because something seems hard, because things may be hard, but we can do hard things. We are bigger than that. And I love this idea. I love this idea that you can put words on the wall and they can just keep sinking in and have this sort of power to give you a little boost when you need it. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was meeting with a friend for a cuppa, and she has got 2 little ones, and she was talking about how her older one is a real perfectionist, how she gets really frustrated when she's not great at things, and she has this real conscientious drive to do things really well and do things perfectly. And I thought, well, there are good things about that, but you don't really, ideally, you don't want that kind of a tendency to be limiting or debilitating or disempowering. And I thought, well, if you were going to take the Brene Brown sort of method of sticking words on a wall, the words for that would be, it's okay to get it wrong. And I've been thinking about this quite a lot, that actually this isn't just important for people who are perfectionists, but parents in general. It's such an important thing to sort of get your head around. If you're listening to a vlog entitled How to Be a Better Parent, that kind of shows that you kind of want to be a better parent. And actually, everybody wants to be a better parent. There is no parent out there who wants to be a really crap parent, even someone who really is a crap parent in lots of ways. Maybe we all are. I don't know. Even people who truly are, they don't want to be crap parents. So there's this sort of, there are these things you have to manage: the desire, wanting to be a really good parent, but also the ability to accept when you make mistakes, which is so, so important. Getting back to the being kind thing, people are not so much in need of your kindness when they're getting everything right, when they're doing great, when they're in flow, hugely successful at whatever they're putting their hand to. That's not when they really need kindness. The time when you really need kindness is when you get it wrong. And so, kind of following on from these little things, kind of, how do you be a better parent? You be a better human being. How do you be a better human being? You're more kind. How do you be more kind? Well, be more kind when you get it wrong. Be more kind when your kids get it wrong. Now, I do love talking about these things in a really abstract way like this, kind of the ideas and the theories and corollaries and whatnot. But I also love the practical applications as well. And for me, this idea of being kind when someone gets it wrong, saying that it's okay to get it wrong, this is something that comes up, for me anyway, and for my child, all the time, continuously, because that's kind of, if you weren't getting things wrong all the time, I'd be really concerned about whether you were learning or not, because the nature of learning, that's when you learn. You learn by getting things wrong, and then you get them right, and you get them wrong, and you get them right. You kind of learn. That's how you learn. So if you're not getting things wrong a lot, I would be concerned about how much you're learning, and then I'd be concerned about, if you're not learning, then you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're not happy. I'd be concerned about your happiness, really, ultimately, if you're not getting things wrong. If you're not getting things wrong, you're probably not going to be very happy. So, yeah, me and my little boy, we get things wrong all the time. To put this into context, let's look at one little thing. Well, my little boy's crazy about Minecraft. That kind of sounded like I was saying he was crazy, which he kind of is, in a really good way. He marches to the beat of his own drum, the old proverbial marcher, to the beat of the proverbial drum. He is crazy about Minecraft. Recently, he's been wanting to just watch Minecraft videos constantly and play it constantly, kind of a combination of those two things, which, I want to support him in that. But I also want him to be happy and healthy and be getting all the other things that he needs as well. He keeps asking me for my phone so he can go on and play Minecraft. So I keep giving him my phone. Today's Monday, and yesterday he had my phone for various times during the day, and he dropped my phone twice. Not once, but twice. I don't like it when he drops my phone. It's really hard for me not to react. It's really hard. That was the low battery on my phone. I just had to, oh gosh, I hope this doesn't cut out completely. But anyway, it's really hard for me not to go KO when he drops my phone. And it's really hard for me not to say something like, can you please be more careful? But actually, the thing that he doesn't really need me to say that. When he's dropped my phone, the look on his face is always like, oh my gosh, like he's already horrified. He hasn't done it on purpose. He's not like chucking my phone on the ground on purpose. And so what he needs to hear is not KO, can you please be more careful? He's already saying that. He knows that. What he needs to hear is, it's okay that you got it wrong. It's okay that you dropped my phone. I don't like it that you dropped my phone, and I'd like it if we could find a way that you could maybe drop my phone less. But it is okay that you got it wrong. Just separating out, it's not you that I'm really cross about. It's not you that I don't like, it's the outcome that I don't like. I don't like my phone being dropped. Well, this morning, he wanted to watch these videos walking to school, and I was like, okay, you're going to be really careful, right? Because you did drop my phone twice yesterday. Hold it with two hands. And so he was holding my phone and then about to put on his coat, and he kind of had his phone in one hand. It was a little bit precarious looking. He just, gripping one end of my phone with one hand. And I said to him, Quioan, give me the phone. And he started to protest. And I said, that's not a really secure way to hold the phone. So I will hold it while you put on your coat. And I kind of saw in his face something click. He was like, oh, right, I understand. Actually, I'm going to hold it in a more secure way. So he handed me the phone very cooperatively, put on his coat. I passed it back to him. He started watching this video. We were walking towards the school, which is not very far away. As we got close to the school, well, there's a rule at school, very sensible rule about no phones at school. And as we got within sight of the school, I saw his he's only 7. I saw his little body do this little convulsive sort of like, oh no, kind of motion. I don't know. It's funny. It happened so fast. He just went like that, and his hands kind of like thrust the phone kind of in the direction of my pocket, in the direction of my hand. Before I even knew what was happening, he'd kind of done this and let go, and the phone just like hit the pavement, bounced. And I was like, KO! Just this reaction. I do not like my phone being dropped on the pavement. And just because he dropped it, I just wanted to go, why? And like, I just kind of take it out on him. And I could see he was really upset that he dropped the phone. And so I had to really, it was a challenge calming myself and saying to him, like, I could see what he needed in that moment was I just kept saying over and over to him, because he was getting more and more worked up, and I just kept saying, it's okay that you dropped the phone. It's okay. You made a mistake, of course. And I was like, but do you know, just before you dropped it, I did see you go into a bit of a panic trying to get the phone over to me. I saw that, we were getting close to the school, and you had this little rush. And so I kind of felt like, well, poor kid. With me as his mom, he's going to be getting these life lessons constantly, isn't he? So I was just like, do you know, there are always going to be times when things seem like a rush, where you've got to get something done in a rush, or somebody puts pressure on you, or someone says, do it quickly. But you can take the time you need to do it in a way that feels good to you. Even when you're doing something quickly, don't feel like you're rushing. Take your time and do it how you need. So I was saying this to him like over and over, and kind of as we got up to the school gates, he was kind of calm by the time we got there. But I just kept saying to him over and over, it's okay to get it wrong. Like on the inside, I was like, he dropped my phone again, for crying out loud 3 times in like 12 hours. Honestly. Honestly, does he have to drop my phone 3? That's on the inside. I was not super pleased about my phone being dropped, but in that moment, what he needed was not to be. It didn't matter that I was feeling that on the inside. Like, yeah, it mattered to me, but that was not what I needed to convey to him, because he already knew that I wasn't liking the phone being dropped. There was no new information there for him. What he needed to know was, it's okay to get it wrong. It's okay to get it wrong. It's okay to get it wrong. So, yeah, I'm just gonna conclude with that. I've been thinking about this kind of just before hitting record on the video. Walking back from the school, I was thinking, well, it really is okay to get it wrong. It is okay that he dropped my phone. Even if I don't like it, that's okay. Then I was thinking of all the other ways that someone could do something, get it wrong, and make a mistake. And like things where the consequences would be, really, really challenging to take. Like if Quio did something that wiped out my entire hard drive and it hadn't been backed up, which it probably wouldn't have been because I think I've backed up my hard drive like twice in my whole entire life, which reminds me it's something that I should probably do this week. But anyway, if he did something like that, that would be really difficult. That would be extremely challenging for me to tell him, it's okay to get it wrong. I'm very upset about my hard drive being completely wiped irrevocably, but it's okay to get. So I've been just running through different scenarios in my head about all the different ways in which he could break something, destroy something. It kind of came down to it when I was thinking about it. I was like, what would be the hardest thing? It's kind of the hardest thing for me would be if I had worked really, really hard. It made me think, like, gosh, actually, not a lot has changed from when I was like a tiny child. Like, I have a brother who's 2 years younger than me, and the absolute hardest thing used to be if I'd worked really hard on a sketch. Like, I'd been like sketching. It's something I used to do. I was like sketching hours and hours, created something beautiful, and he came along and like spilt something on it or ripped it up or just did something destructive. If a lot of work had gone into something and that thing had been destroyed, that would be the hardest thing to take, whether it was a mistake or not. Of course, if it's intentionally destroyed, that takes it to a whole new level of like difficult to deal with. But yeah, for me, those things are the most challenging things. So I kind of have to watch it because those are the things that I really react to when I feel like things are being broken, destroyed, not handled very carefully, and there's damage. That's what I react to. And that's what I have to look out for in terms of like, when do I have to be kind to my boy about getting things wrong? And I think we all have different things. Like, you might be harder on your child if you feel they're not making an effort with homework, or if they're, I don't know, getting it wrong in different ways, if they get in trouble with the law, or, different things might push your buttons. For me, it's kind of like the things that are destructive, those kinds of mistakes are a challenge. I think that's enough said on this. Peace.